Good day, my lovely friends. Today we are talking about that Aussie heckler. I'm not even going to name her. Heckling the king. She's a member of parliament, and honestly, the disrespect she showed was disgraceful. Even her own Aboriginal elders have said that she does not speak for them, and allegedly she's only 3% Aboriginal anyway, and her anger and her venom really infuriated the some Aboriginal communities, and they made it very clear when they met the king that she does not speak for them, and I'm not even going to name her because she doesn't deserve it. So we're going to read on that, maybe a little bit about what Harry and Meghan might have felt, what the Australian people felt, and maybe how the king and queen felt. She also, in that tirade of hers, mentioned the stolen generation. I will do a separate video on that because it deserves its own video. Childhood treasures resurface. Sorry, I'm feeling very rough today. My tooth broke yesterday down right into the root, and then I had to go into the dentist, and they tried to get it out. They pulled some out, and then it broke some more, and then they had to cut away into the gum to get the rest of it out, and it was infected, and yeah, so I'm feeling very rough. Childhood treasures resurface. Might have to ask the cards to clarify. What does that mean? Cards, we're talking about the heckler in Aussie Parliament. What does that mean, childhood treasures? Fast forward movement, but very bleak, very bleak. Maybe this was, the childhood treasures might be King Charles's fond memories of Australia. He's been here many times. He was here in his final year of schooling, and maybe he was concerned. Maybe he was concerned that there might be someone trying to ruin his memory of the place. Not sure. Maybe I'm just off today. Cards, what else? Rigid. Some people want to be stuck in the past. Maybe this is more what this is about. Some people want to be stuck in the past, like that senator, and they're very, very rigid. And what I'm going to tell you about in my next reading about the stolen generation is this woman made a big song and dance of it. Firstly, that wasn't King Charles's fault. He wasn't monarch then. It had nothing to do with him. So how can you blame him for something somebody else did? Secondly, it was the government of Australia at the time that had that policy, not King Charles. So it had nothing to do with the monarch. And thirdly, the Australian government issued an apology in 2008 about that situation. So somebody is rigidly clinging to things that happened in the past that have got nothing to do with King Charles, just trying to make him look bad. And I think this is also similar to what's happened with the feud between the YouTubers, where some people try to take others down, and by taking others down, or trying to, they make themselves look bad. Individuality. Yeah, this senator thinks it's all about her and how she feels. She doesn't give a damn about how poorly she's representing her people. Loyalty. And this is exactly what her the Aboriginal elders said when they met King Charles after that incident. That person shows no loyalty to us. She's not part of us. What she said does not reflect our loyalty to you. We are loyal to you, and we love you. Trapped. People are trapped in rigid thinking, and they want to bring others down. Rather than being good and kind and nice and building up, maybe making a charity and building something positive, the only thing some people know how to do is to tear others down. Change is natural and good, and yes, it can hurt. So the people, the elders that King Charles met with, know that there have been hurts in the past, but they also know that it's not his fault. He didn't do those things. The wisdom of the elders is showing through, and it's a pity that that senator didn't listen to her own community before she went on that tirade. It was just a publicity stunt, I'm getting. Creativity. Yeah, she thought that she was being creative and seizing the opportunity to make herself look good by trying to make somebody else look bad. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It just makes you look like a fool. Joy. Yeah, this is the elders when they when they met with King Charles. They were so pleased that he was here. They were so pleased that he had made the effort. They just wanted him to know that how much they loved his mother and how much they appreciate him, and especially making the journey, having had his cancer treatment even paused. Yeah, and they understand that history is complicated. See, it's complicated. It's a complicated tapestry, and different people, yes, made mistakes in the past, but they're not holding one man responsible for something that happened decades ago, and that it wasn't actually something instituted by the monarch. The monarch did not, who was the late Queen Elizabeth, did not institute some of those policies that that lady was complaining about. Yes, there was some violence when people from England came to Australia, but it's complicated, and it's not King Charles's fault. Why am I calling him Prince? Reality. Reality is that the king is a good man. He is a good man, and people can see that. And ironically, with that senator trying to tear down the king, the mainstream media actually toned down their criticism of the king, and the heckler had the opposite effect. She was trying to show how terrible the king was, and in the meantime, it actually got people to get behind him. It got people to support him more. It got people to come out in defense of him. People who might otherwise have stayed silent were able to, well, it gave them a push and a courage to speak out for him. And if anything, I think that heckler has now caused people in Australia to be even more supportive of the king. Yeah, that's a sort of like it looks like somebody who's drowning the king with his cancer, and Aussies are not going to let him walk alone. Basically, it's brought out a bit of a fierce, what would you call it, loyalty in people. Fragment, yeah. People who want to fragment the community and pull others down are going to harm themselves. They're going to harm themselves mostly, and not so much harm the community. What else, cards? What else? The goat is a symbol of being agile, learning to move with the times, flow with the times. You know how goats climb up the mountainside and they're very agile and nimble. Well, when you get stuck in the past, you're not agile or nimble. Let's quickly ask the cards. What do Harry and Meghan think, or what did they think of this this heckler? Orchestrated. This is my card for Meghan orchestrating things behind the scenes. I don't think she would have orchestrated this, though. But certainly if she had thought of it, and she had been able to reach out to that person, allegedly, according to the cards, I think she would have tried to do something like this. So maybe it's a page out of Meghan's playbook, trying to make somebody else look bad. Fairy B. This is always my card for dear old Harry, who thought his life was sweet, and well, he thought it was going to be sweet once he left the royal family, but he didn't realize just how much the family protected him from the press. He seemed to think that the family was vilifying him in the press. No, that was his own bad actions. What do Australians think about the king? Let's not ask, well, since the heckling has taken place, what do the Australians think about the king? I'm not going to ask what they think about the heckler because, well, let's do that first. Let's do that first with this other deck. What do Aussies think about the heckler? What do Aussies think about the heckler? Fulfillment. They feel that this person is doing it out of their own greed, their own selfishness. That, yeah. cycles. What goes around comes around. She's probably not going to be voted back in. She was voted in, so some people are saying she should just be fired. Well, she can't be fired. She was voted in by the people, but she's not going to be in again. Yeah, that's the end of the chapter for her. So that's pretty clear. Australians are disgusted with her. Even if you're anti-monarchist, you could still have respect for the king and all his charitable endeavours, and the fact that he's going through cancer and cancer treatment. Aussies do not like it when you try and kick somebody when they're down. And, yeah, that's the end of that senator's political career. What do Aussies think of the king and queen? You're not alone. You're not alone. Yep, they support the king and the queen. And again, that person does not speak for us. Care. They want the king to look after himself, be gentle with himself. They don't want this tirade to affect his health. Open your heart. Bliss. They just want the king to have a good trip to Australia. They want him to enjoy it, to have good, fond memories. What do you think of that heckler? Safety. You are held. Yeah. This should have been a place where the king was safe, free from vitriol. What do you think of that heckler? I mean, even if you're anti-monarchy, that's not the right way to do it. I'm just going to pull a couple more cards for the king and queen, and then we'll close it off. Thank you for being here. Please like if you do and subscribe if you haven't. And watch out for my next video about the stolen generation. And I'll also give a bit of an update about Griffin on that one as well. Nature. Tune into the natural world. And yeah, that's very much the king's energy, isn't it? He's always found great comfort and peace and healing in the natural world. The law. Act with common sense and responsibly. Yeah, he's doing what he can, and I think he might even be doing some things behind the scenes about Harry. But he's had a lack of energy since he's been unwell. So I think that he's moving some things forward behind the scenes regarding Harry. He's not a stupid man, and he's not unaware as to not only the havoc that Harry's caused in his family, but how it's affected the monarchy and also the people who love the monarchy. Communal markets. So this is I think the Commonwealth, and I think that this card is saying that at the Commonwealth meeting he's going to get a lot of respect, and he's going to really enjoy it, and he's going to see the fruits of his mother's labour. Unicorn. Spread the light of the unicorn. Yeah, he's not going to let the detractors cause him to waver. I mean, I think it must have been a bit upsetting. Must have been a bit upsetting to see that, to have that confrontation, and to see that person being so mean. But then the flip side is, after that, the media became kinder in Australia towards the king and queen, and wherever he went, he was met with an even warmer reception. So, yeah, it's people who were trying to bring him down have not succeeded, because he realizes that the outpouring of love was much stronger than one person's vitriolic PR stunt, is what I'm getting. It's not, she didn't even, yeah. Well, I'll talk more about Stolen Generation in the next video. But yeah, it was just a PR stunt, and her I don't even know that she was angry. She was just spiteful and wanted vengeance from a man who had nothing to do with any of the things that she was complaining about. All right, my lovelies, let me know what you think. Sending you love and blessings, and may the angels walk with you today and always.